Right, we just need to know a little bit more about some of the new parts from the JavaScript that has, I think, from 2016 and going forward, so the ECMAScript 6 and going forward. Variable used to be the only one we had before, so we would create a variable for everything, storing data, changing data, and so on. But with the newer versions, we have two more, and we should sort of try to start separating them a little bit. So you can still use variable, of course, it doesn't go away, but you will see people using the two others more than this, so of course we need to know what they are. Variable is just, as it says here, where you can store all kinds of data. That's basically what it is. Then we have two more. One of them is called let, and the other one is called const, which is stored for constant. The let is something we'll use if we're, again, it's the same as the variable. It stores the variable or data, but we'll probably use it a little bit more if we have an indication that the data or the stored data inside this might change at some point. So we could create a open variable or an empty variable where we know we're going to put things into it. So we will create a let for that. Whereas a constant, think of this as the same as a variable. You'll store data, but it's less likely to change. So creating, for example, the array with the dogs, or create an array with whatever, or objects, that will usually more be into a constant. So it's for you to kind of remember this. We're going through, this is an array, is it really going to change a lot, or is like constant structure, constant data, then you would use the const in this case, or is it more of like a open or empty variable that can change and things like this, then you would use the let. But now you know they're there, and I'm going to start using them in videos as well. So we have variables, let, and const. So for this next example, I'm just going to delete this and I'm going to copy in some code because I don't want to write it by hand. That takes way too long. I am going to be using two different stored variables or constants. So I'm going to use const for both. One is just a standard array, and the other one is an array with information or object inside it. So the one we just had with my dogs. First one is just ages. So a array with different ages here, and then we have a constant with famous people that includes names, categories, and what that category is, a singer, and active. So in their case, date of birth and not date of alive anymore. I'm just going to active and end. And the others are still live, so that's the reason why it's 2018. We're going to be using these two to do different things going forward. So we're going to look into some of the more, like, what do you want to call them, the cool things we can use JavaScript for. But let's start to create something that's going to check out that uses the ages and see if you're allowed to drink. So it's going to run through the array here and see if you have a specific age and if you're allowed to drink if you have that age. So let's start out by creating a let here. And let's create the variable can drink, allowed to drink. Let's go with that, allowed to drink. Or you can name whatever you want really. And this let here, we are going to create it as, as a empty array, because we want to start to push for each of these ages that is above a certain number. We want to push them into this array and then show it. We don't want to change the array up here in this case. We just want to use all the information from ages that we have, and then we're going to create a new array that's called allowed to drink, and base all the information from this one up here and push it into this one. So only print out the ones that have a specific age or higher. That's what we want to accomplish here. So let's do a for loop. And in our for loop, we're going to create a let I equals 0. That's our starting point. And then we're going to do have an I is smaller than the ages. So the constant up here, the variable up here called ages, dot length. And we're going to do an iteration from I++. So very similar to what we've been seeing before. Don't worry about if your program says has a red line beneath this. It's because WebStorm is not up to date in my case. Yours might be. And this for loop is now ready. Now we're going to create a if statement in this for loop to check to see if your age is higher than a specific set. And if it is, do something for us. So let's do an if. and have it constructed right, so like this. And if our age, and since we're using a loop, we can now use an I here. So if for each time it runs through, our age is the other way, higher or equal to, and since we're in Denmark, the drinking age is 18. If you're in America, is the only one I know, that's 21, I think. So if you're 18 or higher, you're allowed to drink. So it goes through these to see how many of these are above 18 or equals to, then the statement is true, right? So this would be true. If this is true, then we're going to do allowed. So our variable up here, we're going to use this now. And the value of this, we're going to push this into our newly created, where we go? Parentheses, our newly created here, our ages. So this, and let's do this. So if our statement is true, we're going to push in all the ages like this. Let's see, all the ages that is true into our array, our new array. Oops. Of course, it won't show anything because I haven't printed it out. Console log, and before I type it in, try to spot what I should print out. What should I print out to show the amount of people who are allowed to drink? Which will be allowed to drink, of course. So let's hit refresh, and now you can see there are 11 people that are higher than 11 people. I don't know if it's people, they're just ages. So there are level 8. There is 11 that has the value of 18 or higher. But let's try to change some here. So let's say if you're in some other country where you need to be 40 plus. Whoops, not A40. Oh, don't destroy it. So you need to be 40 or higher, equals 40 or higher. So let's see how many, what would that be? 1 and 2, 3, 4. So it should print out 4, right? I might have destroyed some of my code, so let's just see what I did. And let's go back. There we go. I deleted a little bit too much. So let's go with 40 or higher. And now you can see there's only 4. 40, 61, and so on. So we are using a condition, if it's true or false, based on an array up here. So the indication up here, using all these data up here. And then we're saying if this is true, then we're going to use our empty array like we did with the third and the first, with the snack bars. And then we're going to push in those values that are equal or higher to our true statement here, and then we're going to print out that the actual numbers or values here. That's what this is doing, and that's a way of us to try to compare, to filter. That's probably the best word for it. To filter out an array based on a true statement or a false statement.